Christmas! No, it's not Santa Claus. It's the Knife Joker. But Merry Christmas anyway. Thanks for joining me once again. Travis from the Knife Joker. Today coming at you with an overview of a knife that I just couldn't get out of my head. This Christmas, this Spyderco Viele Phoenix. I don't know why, just between thinking of that red for Christmas G10 and the ball bearing lock for the Christmas balls on the Christmas tree, then I thought, man, what a cool Christmas carry that would be. So here we are today, Christmas Day, 2021. Oh man, can't even speak. Oh man, what a year 2021 has been once again. Check that thing out. Just a great knife. Seems like things are always more popular when they're unavailable. So if you're a Spyderco collector, if you've been around for a while, man, when these aren't available, people want them. And well, these have actually been available for a little while. A sprint run. Let's check out the box. That made in Japan Spyderco Viele Phoenix. Once again, yeah, just a little bit of paperwork in there highlighting of how this is limited edition sprint run and of course unique one-time only event. Once sold out, never be produced that exact form again. Howard Viele passed on 2009, and in 2010 Spyderco decided to run the Phoenix again, and to the delight of many collectors, they did. There it is, a little paperwork. Love it. Love how Spyderco gives some paperwork. All companies could give some paperwork. Of course, the box could be a little more sturdy. This one's damaged. But yeah, see, people say the box is so flimsy, and it's a little flimsy. So I guess that could be improved on. Let's check this thing out. I think it's a little bit of a misunderstood knife, meaning I think it's $315, and people will be like, why would that VG10 knife be $315? And well, for one thing, it's 2021. It's not 2010 anymore. And secondly, it's all titanium. Well, not all titanium, sorry, misspoke there. Titanium scales. You can see the difference. You see that steel right there on the back, that steel back spacer and steel standoff right there, and then you can see the different color of the titanium running down each scale. There's that front scale, and they did a good job on the titanium. Of course, the red G10 as well. A Christmas color. It got me. Yeah, it got me this Christmas, just thinking about it. Of course, these come with this little, rubber, not rubber, plastic, well, just like a condom on there, basically. It's covering up this titanium just during shipping. And then, of course, you pull that off there, gonna carry it around, or you're gonna collect it. I guess maybe you try to leave it on. But the condom's still on the back side there. Check out that Viele Phoenix blade. That kind of like trademark 3 holes, Howard Viele. There on the clip too. It's a classic looking knife. Well, it is a classic, modern classic now. That hollow grind VG10 coming out of Seki City. Just trying to get that Viele. Trademark, his logo there. Let's check out that ball bearing. That ball lock from Spyderco. Of course, yeah, holding it open. right there, and, well, holding it closed right there. That little spring-loaded ball. Let's see if we pull it back like that. It's a high-end looking spring. I think there's a little magnet right there on the end. I don't know if there is or not, but I wonder if there's a magnet right there. And I didn't look up all the technical specs. Of course, we could always do that. I'm giving my opinion. Yep, nice looking spring. I think there is a little magnet right there on the end of the spring that kind of holds the ball, you know, right against it. So of course, when you pull back, the ball doesn't get loose in there. I guess it wouldn't with the spring anyway. Of course, when that knife opens, shoots all the way up in there. And that's a strong lock. Super strong lock. Also looks pretty cool. Try to zoom in a little bit. Let me get a good shot of this. I want to see my fingerprint right there on the ball. But that chamfering, the milling, going down in there, allowing you to get your finger down in there. That's pretty clean looking. Of course, that's the plastic on their side. Flip back over. Yeah, that's pretty clean looking right there. Overall, really clean looking knife. Coming out of Seki City. You see that ball bearing all the way back in there. You can't, it is kind of hard to grab, I guess. You're basically sticking that fat part of your thumb, your flesh down in there to grab the ball, and it's not too hard to do. I mean, pretty easy actually. Grabbing that round ball so there's no sharp points that you're grabbing on. Pretty smooth. Although you do have to think about it, try a little bit, especially when you first get the knife, to throw the flesh part, the fat part of your fingers down in there and grab that, but super easy to do. Of course, this is always, it's a little harder to do on camera when you're playing around with it like this. But yeah, you could just take the pressure off the knife and swing it open. Do it with one finger. Swing it down. I want to cut myself. You're on camera. That was close. So yeah. One warning or something you might find out if you ever have one of these. You know, you do kind of find a spot to pull it down to on the corner of your hand here. Pull it, and then you see how smooth it was. It's already starting to drop down as soon as I pull that back. But the warning was, if you put it, and I've seen people do it with the Mannix too, if you pull it way down in there, now we're talking about fat, fleshy parts of your hand, if you let that part of your hand stick down, and when this comes down, well, I'm going to be careful with that VG10. It could cut you. I did it one time. And you learn, just by carrying it, you live and learn. You probably only cut yourself like once or twice. But yeah, I tend to do this Phoenix way over here on the side of my hand where it's not too fat. And it's really smooth. That's hard to do on camera. Really smooth. Oh, did I say that 7 times already? Ooh, I almost cut my finger right there. Yeah, that's hard to do on camera. I'm gonna quit saying that, quit doing that on camera. Once again, the overall shape of that knife, is this a technical term? Super cool looking with those 3 holes, the satin grind on the titanium and the blade from Seki. Super solid knife. I mean, that big old steel backspacer, yeah, that adds some weight to it. Plus those titanium, plus VG10, plus a ball bearing. Super solid knife. Kind of like two grips on this. One back here, which I'll admit, you know, it's a hair short on my hand. You see it, my hand coming off the back. Creates a small hot spot, not real hot. The underneath side feels really good. I guess could be a small hot spot right there. Of course, if you choke up on this knife, and they made it real nice, chamfered down here or milled down here on the edges to get your finger in there. If you like finger choils, awesome finger choil on this knife. I mean, you can put your finger in this far, you can put your finger all the way through. You're not gonna cut yourself. And as one of my good buddies here, he says, oh, that's my favorite knife, man. He's like, this is just my favorite knife. He's always flicking it around and he's always carrying it. So he comes up to me and he's like, try to knock this knife out of my hand. He's like, try to knock it out. And I'm like, no. But he's like, you can't. Anyway, I think his whole point was, yeah, once you grab up in that forward finger choil like that, you have so much control over the blade. It's so much locked into your hand that, no, it's not coming out. It's not coming out. It's a lot of control right there. That Veil Phoenix, kind of overlooked here, I think, in 2021, as far as the new fandangled knives coming out and so forth. Of course, they came out with this Sprint Run and still in stock, to my amazement, because people were looking for those white micarta ones for years, and they were technically paying more than well, I think it's $315. They were paying more than $315. I think it's $4 or $450 on eBay for some of those Veil Phoenix, the old white micarta ones. And really, that's the only difference, that white micarta. Let's get a weight on this thing. Super solid. I mean, it's not the lightest knife, I don't think. Let's just see what it weighs. About 4.7 or something. With maybe more, I don't know. Well, 116, I don't know. What's going on there? Here we go. Let's try like this. Oh, it's a 4.1. So it's not heavy at all, really. I mean, right around that 4-ounce mark, which a lot of people shoot for on their daily carry. So 4.1. I mean, that's just right there. So smooth. Let's get a side by side. Say for the Mannix of being a little bit bigger. Ooh, almost caught myself there. That was close. That's a better side by side if I hold them. Yeah, a little smaller than the Mannix. But then I'm gonna bring out the Mannix. You know, this Mannix, the same thing, has that spring down in there. Little pocket lamp down in there. So I was gonna, I don't know if it's the same spring or not. I don't know if it's a showy, I said that's a showy looking spring. Technically, I don't know if it's the same one. I doubt it's the same. It's got that plastic cage in there. So this one looks cheaper, but it's also works just as strong. It's still a ball bearing in there. And they put the plastic cage just so you can grab it easier. You don't have to shove your hand or your fat part of your fingers, once again, way down in there. You can kind of just grab it. A little bit easier on the Mannix. Of course, it's still a strong spring, so might be hard to pull back one-fingered. I don't know. A little bit. Ball bearing lock. It's not the only Spyderco with the ball bearing lock. Of course, that polywog, and oh man, there's about 5 or 10. There's a good 5 or 10. Of course, they're not all in my mind right now. What I was thinking of is how strong is a ball bearing? Well, have you ever let's see, compared to a bolt, and we're not cutting down this knife here, but just comparing locks. Like, people talk about what's the strongest lock. Is it the back lock, the compression lock, liner lock, frame lock? There's all these different locks. This one being that Able lock from Hogue. See that bolt? It's like a bolt right there going across with, well, I would assume that's screwed in on each side. I'm not sure how this is put together, but maybe a bolt with two things screwed in each side. Not sure. Or just maybe one piece. All one piece milled. But just saying, I don't think you're gonna break this lock with your thumb by pushing down on it, or I don't think the lock's gonna break or anything. But which is the strongest lock? Is it the back lock? A lot of people think it is. And it might be. We're not doing lock tests here. Not today. But I was just thinking, like, I don't know. I've broke a bolt before. Over a torqued one, I guess a different thing. I was torquing it, not pushing on it sideways. So once again, this lock, strong enough, you're not gonna break the lock, I don't think. But yeah, I have broke a bolt before. But I've never actually broke a ball bearing. Just saying, on a physical level, oh, that thing's just spinning around. That's pretty cool. It's not attached to anything, just held in there with that magnet, I believe. But that ball bearing, on a physical standpoint aspect, stronger than the bolt, I guess. Could be one of the strongest locks on a knife, period. See how they also milled that down right there? Makes it easy to get to the spider hole when you want to close it or control it or anything. Pretty nice how they milled that titanium. Well, I think it's showing up pretty good here on camera on Christmas Day. The Veil Phoenix. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Merry Christmas. And probably see you next year.